Today we'll look at and discuss the Cenote Kalimba diving catastrophe in Tulu, Mexico. The Site Kalimba cave is 8 kilometers from downtown. Tulum's depth averages 10 meters or 33 feet. This moderate flow cave system connects Cotta Kalimba to the Grand Cenote. After the fatal dive on November 14, 2018, divers had kilometers of tunnels to explore. 4 divers planned to dive into the Sinote Colimba that day. The group had 2 German-born divers, one of whom was a full cave diver in 2012. Before he became a full-time cave diver in 2015, he had done 150 to 200 cave dives in Mexico. His second time in Mexico, he had done 50 to 70 cave dives. Both divers were comfortable with their dive setup, which consisted of 2 side-mounted cylinders and 1 backup tank. This information came from the official incident report the authorities created after diving and filming in Mexico. The cave of Cenote Kalimba. As they swam farther into the cave, they saw they were swimming with the current, which they didn't think much of. However, while cave diving, some divers will only dive in a tunnel where they will swim against the current when descending, so that when they turn around, it will be simpler to emerge. The parties of divers in the cave that day were doing the reverse, so that would be swimming against the tide on their way out. We'll call this group of German divers Team 1. The diving strategies for the other 3 teams were as follows. Team 2 and 3 planned to dive towards box talk by turning left at the Kalimba mainline T and right at the next T. Team 4 planned to circumvent Cenote Papilana by jumping over the Baja limit and turning right at the T. 1 hour after Team 1 left the staging area, Team 2 went underwater. Team 2 discovered the stage tanks with 15 minutes of penetration remaining, as well as what they assumed were Team 1's cookies, which marked where divers turned off the main line. These cookies marked the Kalimba exit side of the first T intersection. Team 2 saw no more leaps as they dove at Box Chen. Team 1 had yet to arrive at the Kalimba staging area when Team 2 exited. Thus, the pool was empty. Team 2's diver collected additional gas and plunged back into the water to inspect the excellent Cenote exit, but Team 1 remained within. He returned to Kalimba and realized that they hadn't been serviced, so he rushed to a dive shop to raise an alert. It was 2:30 p.m., 4 hours after Team 1's victory. A rescue squad was formed promptly. Jeff Clark arrived first at Kalimba, confirmed the missing divers, and asked for aid. Kim Davidson and Johan Esochin arrived with dive gear quickly. Other locals arrived, including Paul. If the divers didn't surface in another cenote, it would be a body recovery. Robbie Schmidt went to nearby cenotes to see if they surfaced in any of them. In the meantime, 2 teams prepared to start searching. Team 1's dive plan still needed to be clarified. However, there was talk of a dive including the Lithium Sunset section based upon this and the fact that the first T intersection was marked, but Team 2 had died on the right side of the T intersection. Team A searched the left side of the T intersection and Team B the right. Team A was to follow the main line, traverse to the Grand Cenote, and conduct a wholesale search. Team B would dive into the Lithium Sunset segment until it reached the main line of the T. Johan and Kim started searching around 5:30 a.m. Team B, Jeff and Paul, entered the cave 15 minutes after the staging tanks were found. 15 minutes of penetration with 115 and 105 bars at the T intersection. A lost diver's biscuit marked the exit to Kalimba. The search crew left the T intersection and continued on the main route. No markers or installation leaps were visible, passing Muchas Maze or Lithium Sunset. Diver 1 dropped 2 cookies on the sill just past the jump to the Lithium Sunset exit. Diver 1's handheld light was recovered on the cave floor, a few meters off the line after 50 minutes of diving. Diver 1 was found dead, halfway between the Kalimba and Grand Cenote main lines headed towards Grand Cenote. No jumper was installed to connect the 2 main lines, and the train went towards Cenote Otal after connecting the jump line. Diver 2 was found dead on the floor after 55 minutes. He confirmed the missing divers' deaths and locations. The second team left Kalimba to notify authorities and arrange for body recovery. About 2 hours were spent underwater in total during the search. The next day was body recuperation. 3 people entered the water from the Cenote Otal to document and recover the body. The dive to rescue the bodies successfully took less than an hour. A forensic study found no defects or potential causes of the disaster. All regulators and tanks were functional. Both divers used cave diving equipment such as line markers, blind cutters, backup lights, etc. following the disaster. Both divers died after 127 minutes, with all 4 side mount tanks empty and no evidence of danger on the film. Authorities assumed the following about gas use and awareness. The side-mount tanks for the diver were designed to use gas in thirds. A third of their tank is for entry, a third for the exit, and a third for everything. The report says one diver passed by 3 groups at the turnaround and on the return journey. After jumping out of the Mochas maze, the diver notified his partner, sparking the wet note discussion and the choice to travel in the Grand Cenote. 4. Distress induced a rapid rise in respiration and gas utilization. During the exit, Diver 2 informed Diver 1 of a gas share scenario. With larger, unrestricted tunnels downstream, it was easier and faster to continue downstream. With the flow increasing, Diver 1 shared gas from a side mount tank with Diver 2 after he ran out. When the team's shared tank ran out of gas, Diver 2 used what he had, and Diver 1 breathed down. Hiroshima jumped with what was left in his soul tank. The final investigation noted that diver mistakes caused fatalities, notably improper gas planning. Lack of observation was one of the leading causes. The divers made conscious or unconscious mistakes that led to low gas and their deaths. This should remind us that unreachable gas is useless. To be safe, conserve gas and stick to the estimated air consumption. Rest in peace, German divers. This is the Cenote Kalimba accident.